And strategy is interesting. There can be different dimensions to it, and sometimes they're conflicting, right? So you can't have the top one, market share priority or profit priority. So if you are Uber, your job today is to gain market share and get as big and as fast as you can, and boy, are those guys burning through money, right? Let's talk about Amazon. Uber is just amazing how much money. And I don't know if they've got a sustainable business model at the end of it, but their bet is that they'll be so big and there'll be really nobody else that they'll have a bit of monopoly power, and then the prices will all come up and they'll make lots of money. And who am I to argue with them? So understanding what a company's strategy is, and this is a very tricky area because you'd think companies would be all over this, but lots of times there's actually, even the leadership team isn't very clear on this. What I find useful is to frame it in terms of two things that sort of conflict with each other. So you can have different ones, but market share versus profit, focused distribution network versus a very broad one, high support versus low support, right? And I frame this as distribution, but British Airways gives you a lot more support. Well, Emirates gives you a lot more support than Ryanair does, right? They have different strategies. More premium versus more mass market, or higher risk appetite versus lower risk appetite. So you can have different ones, but understanding where they are on this, understanding which ones are important, and understanding how it might change over time, super helpful. Maybe more for the AE, but really interesting conversations to have over lunch with the client, if nothing else. Getting into that is this notion of what are they trying to maximize? So they could be trying to maximize volume. So that tends to, you get a very low price, but you don't make a whole lot of money. In fact, you lose money. If you maximize revenue, that's fine. So it's a higher price now because we can't sell to people we lose money to, or not so much anyway. Gross profit, though, is at a higher price again. So what you always find is that the peak for gross profit is higher than the peak for revenue, with the one exception of if you have no variable cost. So a company cannot say that they want to maximize profit and revenue at the same time. It's a mathematical impossibility unless they have a zero variable cost. Okay? Because lots of companies will say that, right? You want to do both. So that's where you get to the trade-off. And if push comes to shove, which one's more important? Well, profit, normally, yes. In the long run, yes. But in the short run, if you're trying to scale up quickly, then maybe not. Right? So I don't want to, yeah, you've got to, and anyway, our job is not to question, our job can be to question skeptically what their strategy is if we don't think it makes any sense, but we don't control their strategy. It's their strategy, right? We're just trying to understand it. So if they think they've got a strategy that we don't understand, that's fine. It's still their strategy.